Hello, welcome back. So I thought for Christmas I'd do a couple of videos on the restorations I've been visiting, the main ones where I've been a number of times, and kind of show what's happened over the year, what the volunteers have done, all the great work they've done. The first one has to be Lichfield. The Lichfield and Hatherton Canal Restoration Trust have done an amazing job on restoring sections in Darnford Moors and right the way through up to Fosseway Heath. Darnford Moors itself, I visited there about 7 months ago, and there was literally nothing there. Well, the on-site had just started. They had profiled the very first section up to the lift bridge. They had literally done maybe 3/4 of the bento mat. So it's a layer that goes in, and it's the waterproof layer. It's like a hydrated clay layer. And they weren't even close to finishing or filling or anything like that. Roll on a few more months, but 4 months it was. And that section is full. The second section, phase 2, which goes just around past the winding hole around the corner, was all lined, ready to go. And phase 3 at that time had been given an approval, but hadn't been announced, so I wasn't allowed to announce it at the time. But now, roll on to about 2-3 weeks ago when I went to visit, we've got the canal, which is not only just profiled phase 3 as well, right up to near the Darnford Lane itself, but it's full of water. So they originally tested the first section, and then they put stop planks in, had that full, pumped it up from the stream, and then when they were happy that that was not leaking, they pulled the stop planks, filled it, loads of rain, a massive pump to pump things in from the stream again, and it was full. It's still not quite full, but it's not far off at all. And then on to Lock 24. Now, Lock 24 is a really interesting project. So if you don't know the story, if you haven't seen this on my videos, Lock 24, the locks are going up away from Huddlesford Junction and away from Darnford Moors. And they needed to get under Cricket's Lane. Cricket's Lane has got a development happening to the side of it in the fields, and they couldn't have a humpback bridge there. The old humpback bridge was dangerous. You used to come along down the lane in towards Lichfield, and it would be straight jump into the junction. So they flattened it in the 70s, and they wanted to have a flat bridge again. So what they've done at Lock 24 is they've lowered the canal, got rid of the lock, but kept the side wall and a few other things of the heritage there, and they're running through now, and they're running at a lower level. So a new lock's going to go on the other side. So this is really hard work here, and the trust, for their Christmas appeal, we're looking for match funding, and they've got the money to buy a new digger from it, basically. So they've got to get through this hard rock and through and under, but they've made great progress from when I first visited. They have dug out loads more, built retaining walls, loads of stuff, and it's more open than what it was before. Loads of planting. In the summer it looks amazing down there. They've got all wildflower planting on the sides and borders and stuff. Loads of brick walls and stuff made with the original bricks and stuff. It's lovely. And then I can't really give much of an update on these sections because I haven't visited the extra bits from here, but it basically goes through St John's section, past the new developments where they've got most of the land. I think there's 2 bridges in already, just backfilled, and then they've got one more which they've got to get the money for and stuff at the moment, and then they've got to get under the railway as well, and then up to Fosseway Heath. Now Fosseway Heath is another conservation area that the trust are doing, and it's I haven't visited to give you updated pictures, but they've cleared a lot of the brush and stuff that was in there in the canal bed, and loads more has happened down there. And this takes you up to the locks where a lot of the line is then sort of on private land or lost, unfortunately. And then we are on Lock 18. So Lock 18 is the end of Fosseway Heath, and this runs over quite a lot of land where the canal is lost, needs some diversions on private land and various other things, which eventually takes you up to the M6 Toll Aqueduct. And that was put in place when the M6 Toll was built quite a few years ago, and that then takes you onto the Ogley flight of locks, the first flight. which takes you up into the Wyrley and Essington Canal, which is what the Lichfield was part of, onto Ogley Junction. We visited here again. It's another area we've looked at, and a lot of this is again on private land. Or the locks are generally sort of lost there. But the canal trusts are amazing. As a YouTuber going to visit these things, it's great when you get support from the canal trusts. I get a lot of support from the Wilts and Barts. I get some from the Cotswolds. I'm liked and disliked on that canal. But the Lichfield Canal, they just welcome me with open arms. Every time I message them, everyone wants to help. Everyone wants me to create content. Everyone wants me to put out the word of what they're doing, and for great reason, because they are just flying through this restoration. And when you look at it, I mean, I've got some maps here. So here is Huddlesford Junction, and this is HS2, the big purple line coming down through the middle here. So this is the Mooring Club. This is the section that HS2 are going to divert slightly, and then we're into this bit here, which the trust, I believe, own the land, but they don't. They're waiting. It's released out to farmers. They're waiting for HS2 to finish. I think HS2 may have bought sections which they're going to give or sell back. And then we're into Darnford Moors here. So from about this line here through to here is in water. And then you've got a section here. They've got to get under the A38, which isn't as bad as it sounds. It's a dual carriageway. It's a very, very busy road. But the Cotswold canals on the A38 as well, funnily enough, but much further south, obviously, they got the 2 roundabouts underneath, which is part of the missing mile. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. Then you've got to get under Tamworth Road, and then you're into the Tamworth Road section here, which, despite being marked as not in water, from about here to about where that lock is, the new lock's going to be there, around to up to lock just before lock, well, actually lock 25, that's all in water. So then if we go on to the next page, you've got lock 24 here. This section here is being done at the moment. Then you've got this section here right up to London Road Bridge is pretty much ready to go. They've got a lift bridge to it's a lift or swing bridge. I think it's a lift bridge going in across here. This is the only footpath across the whole canal, and it wasn't there when the original canal was done. So they've got to put a bridge in now. And then we're into like the St John's section, which is a new developments. Now this is a diversion because the old canal ran up through here, but is mostly built on now. So these new developments down in the south are taking a new route through. Now the trust have most of this. So bridges have been put in place on all but Claypit Lane Bridge. All of these bridges are underneath. I believe all 3 of those are underneath. They've got to get under the railway bridge, but the road has a tunnel underneath it already, but they've still got to get underneath there. But when you start adding these sections up, and the Fosseway Heath section up to 18 is up to lock 18 is pretty much ready. When you start adding these sections up with ready to, almost ready to go, it doesn't take a lot of work. This section, they need really a couple of bridges putting in, but the rest of the bridges are all done. Then you've got this section here is done. This section here is being done. And then back down to here, this section is the one issue at the moment, but things are going on, hopefully behind the scenes, to sort that. This section is done. This section is done. This section will be done by HS2. You suddenly go from having just a small arm of the canal there to having a canal right down past Lichfield. And then there's a lot to do over here, but the main obstacle on the M6 Toll is already done. But once you've got the water to here, up to this top corner here, then it's not a huge task to suddenly start saying, okay, well, we need to get this next section in. Let's buy the land, let's get the agreements, let's do the work, let's raise the money, let's get it all done. And then you're into here. Maybe at that point work can start on this end. Maybe this land can be got to get you up to the aqueduct, deep block here, and then through sort of onto this bit here where they've got this whole section here. If I go on to that one, This section here is all dug out pretty much and ready to go, I think. I don't know, they've probably got some work to do there, but it's all there. They've got all of that. They're not far off at all. From as soon as they start getting water in, it's going to happen. Canal restorations are often not in my lifetime. It'd be nice to see him getting somewhere. The Wilkes and Berks, which is a canal I love, it's my local canal, I love it to bits, but you think it's 71 miles of restoration. It's going to take years to get it done. And again, when that starts going, it'll go. But the Lichfield is much shorter. It's got really good management. It's got really good fundraising. It's got really good engineers. It's got really good everything to get it over the line. And I just think it's the most exciting project in the country. And I think every one of you should be signing up to them, joining up on their membership. The links are in the description. The more members they've got, the more chance they've got of funding. So please do help them. And by the way, these maps here, these are waterway routes. Now, if you go onto their website, it's probably going to be a bit big on here. Waterway routes. You go onto there, you can basically, all the restoration maps are free. And you literally can just download them in Acrobat and PDF, and you can do memory map as well. Memory maps are pretty cool on your phone. I don't like it on the computer, but on the phone it's pretty cool. So it just loads the whole map onto basically like a Google map type map in the app, and you can just zoom in on any canal you've got saved on there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's really hard this time of year for me to record. I'm a plumbing and heating engineer, and the run up to Christmas and the boiler season is mad for me, so I don't get much time to get out and record. I work quite a lot, and the weather for when I've been off has been appalling, so unfortunately I've not got much to do. So I thought this would be a good little way to keep a video going out, and you can see what's going on. I'm going to do one for the Wilkes and Berks canal, might do one for the Cotswolds as well. A lot of the other canals I've covered, I've only really made one visit. The Wendover I won't do because they've had stoppages and stuff, and it's not fair to really say not a lot's happened, because it's not their problem. They're trying to sort other stuff out. Loads has happened, like with towpaths and stuff there, but it's not really worthy of a video, I don't think so. But please let me know what you think. Please join the Canal Trust. Please click like and subscribe. Please have a look at my members. There's a link in the description, and there's a join button which works on the PC and Macs and stuff. You won't see it on your phone, but there is a link in the description. I offer a few memberships. Really supports my channel by doing so. I don't earn a huge amount from adverts on this, so any members helps pay for my hotel rooms and my fuel and camera equipment and all sorts and stuff. So thank you very much for all those that have already joined up, and have a great Christmas.